Well. Today I want to talk about 7 types of people that you should never think about marriage, because these 7 types of people are bad marriage material and they will just make your marriage a living hell. So you don't want to take a risk. It doesn't matter how many rings you'll put into their fingers on the wedding day. These people may never change. So there's no use of taking a risk and getting into a marriage where you will have heartache and grief, because these people carry poison and they can contaminate and mess your marriage completely. The first person that you should not marry completely is the unavailable. This is the person you are in a relationship with, but they are emotionally not there. They are not connected, they are not engaged, they are not committed, they are not there in the relationship. It's like you're doing the relationship alone. You are the one who is putting in all the efforts and they seem not to be there. They are absent in the relationship. This person could be a workaholic, or they could be an alcoholic, or it could be a chronic cheater. And so they always have something that distracts them from putting in their total commitment and effort into relationship. And if this person has never changed, for all the time that you've been trying to build a relationship and you're always asking him, hey, I don't feel you, what is not happening? And they always give excuses, then it could be very foolish for you to get into a relationship or move it into marriage. There are no chances that this person is going to change and get any better. The best thing is avoid them. But what are the signs of such a person? How do you identify the unavailable person? Number 1, they are not fully interested. Number 2, they are so busy for the relationship. Number 3, they contact you sporadically. That is they are not consistent. Number 4, they may keep you as a secret. Number 5, they call when they want something. Number 6, they avoid to talk about the future with you. And number 7, they are scared. They are apprehensive of the progress of the relationship. You want to talk to them about moving things to another level, and they are a little bit scared. They show cold feet. And number 8, they are reluctant to make you a priority in the relationship. And so to save yourself heartache and tears in the future, please don't get into marriage with such a person. Run away from such one-sided relationship, and you will thank me later. The person number 2 you should avoid to marry at all costs is the adult child. Do you want to play parent to your spouse the rest of your life? No, if you don't want to, then you have to step away from this person, because this person may look like an adult outside, but inside they are behaving like a child. Being 30 years or even 40 years does not necessarily mean that someone is mature. They could be physically mature, but emotionally immature. Physical maturity can be counted with using your birthdays, but emotional maturity can be gauged or measured using your reactions, your habits, and the way you deal with the things of life. The adult child is a person who has refused to mature. They have refused to grow. And so getting into a marriage with such a person is frustrating, it is draining, and just painful. It's difficult to create and sustain a healthy relationship with someone who has not broken away from the shell of childish behavior. What are the identifying marks of such a person who is not mature? Acting childish when things don't go their way. They cannot regulate their emotions. They get mad easily. They throw tantrums. They pout. They cry. Also, they are melodramatic. They are full of drama. And they have a sense of entitlement. They believe that things should go their way and they should get what they deserve. They are also egocentric. They have a need to be the center of attention because they think the world revolves around them. And they have no real life plans and seldomly admit mistakes. If your partner is exhibiting such signs of an overgrown child, press the exit button. The person number 3 you should avoid marrying is the unbeliever. If you are a Christian, then the spiritual health of your marriage is very vital and very important, because this can lead to either a successful wedlock or a terrible deadlock. if you get married or you settle with a person who has opposing views, to the ones that you have, then that is going to really cause a lot of problems. It's like having two contractors building the same house with two different sets of plans. That is total confusion. So for the success of your marriage, then you should stick and get somebody who is sharing the same spiritual values with you. Imagine trying to go to a church and your spouse insists on going to another church with the children. Having the same faith is also not sufficient. Are you on the same spiritual level? You could be going to the same church, but on two different levels altogether. So the secret is having a common understanding and approach to God. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14 says, you should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And that is very clear. And so to avoid problems in your marriage, please run away from that relationship. The fourth person you should never marry is the volcano. This is the overreacting partner. Trust me, there will always be issues in every relationship. There will be conflict, there will be disagreements, there will be arguments. And if you are married to somebody who is so touchy, somebody who is emotionally volatile, somebody who is so, eruptive, then that really causes a lot of problems in a relationship, because it will be like you are walking on eggshells, or you are, sitting on a time bomb, always expecting that something wrong is going to happen, or you're going to start and end into a quarrel or a problem. Such a person stresses your relationship by always quarreling and leading to painful arguments. This is not the person that you want to get into a relationship with. You have to always be very careful so that your comments, your actions don't face their volcanic temper. So it's so much exhausting to have a partner whose emotions easily fly off the handle and ramp up and down. Sometimes their hypersensitive behavior can frustrate, make you angry, and you end up shouting or shutting down, or sometimes you walk away. And so you can imagine, if it's in a marriage, then that would always be a big problem. The fifth person you should not marry is the narcissist. This is the person who is so much possessed and obsessed about themselves that they lack the capacity to focus on someone else. They're so self-centered. It's all about me. For the narcissist, it's my way or the highway. They always want to be the center of everything and the attention in the relationship. And so if you get into a relationship or a marriage with this person, then they'll always be looking at themselves. Marriage is about working together, caring for one another, serving one another, loving one another, not being self-absorbed to the exclusion of your significant other. So what are the telltale signs of a narcissist? Deep need for excessive attention. Everything is about them. They love to talk about themselves. Even in a conversation, they will interrupt and switch the focus back to themselves. They love validation, approval, admiration, and praise. And if not met, then you will expect irritation and resentment. Disregard for your feelings. They also get impatient and hurt when they don't receive the VIP treatment that they believe they deserve. They want to isolate you from family and friends, even pull you from your hobbies. So please run away from such a person. The sixth person you should not marry is the master manipulator. This is a person who, for example, will use lines like, if you love me, then you'll not deny me sex. Or if you love me, then you'll spend time with me. Or I will kill myself if you leave me. Or even in marriage, they will say, okay, you didn't buy me that dress, you didn't get me the gift, so no sex tonight until you get me a gift. That is manipulation, and there are many other ways that these people could act. But what is manipulation? The Oxford Dictionary says, manipulation is controlling or influencing a person or situation cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously. The intent of a manipulator is to have power and control over you to get what they want. But what are the common manipulation strategies? Giving silent treatment, blaming, withholding a valuable thing, like in marriage it could be sex, withdrawal, guilt, and lying. The last person I want to talk about that you should not marry is the addict. When a person is struggling with addiction, the substance or the thing that they are addicted to begins to take central priority, top priority, and they forget about all the other things, and all the changes in their behavior take a toll in their relationship, especially romantic ones. And so they begin to spend time trying to feed their addiction. Addictions could come in many forms, like gambling, like alcohol, addiction to drugs, to computers, even to sex, and many other things. If you are in marriage with such a person, then there is a likelihood that they are going to exhibit some behaviors, being secretly lying, being manipulative, being irritable, and eventually your marriage is going to hit the rocks. All said and done, this is your own personal decision to make. You've got to decide which kind of person you are going to end up with, and choices have consequences. So if you make a stupid choice, then you are going to live with the consequences. And I've met with people who are struggling to live with the choices that they made, and sometimes it can be so much bitter that they wish they would reverse the clock, and start all over again to make the right decisions. But the choice is yours. I want to wish you all the best as you make your choices in this life, because the choices that we make in this life, especially in our romantic relationships, are largely going to impact how we are going to live. May God bless you. Thank you so much.